What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. I can safely say that I did not know that this kind of rule existed. Like, we saw a guy called safe even though he completely missed touching the bag. Trent Grisham is playing like the 1997 AL MVP. Shout out to you if you remember who won that MVP. I'll tell you later on. Javy Baez is having a legit, really nice season. He's batting over 400 over the last few weeks. An Orioles starting pitcher threw one of the worst pitches ever thrown in the history of baseball because, of course he did. He's an Orioles starting pitcher. And the Angels, man, it is so sad to watch them ruin this kid's career. It is quite literally becoming baseball malpractice what's happening in Anaheim. So we'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB recap. And guys, real quick, I've only taken one day off in the last 35 days. So if you could do me a favor, just leave a like. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, just help out your boy Fuzzy with a subscribe. I would love to get to 550,000 today. I know that's a lot to ask for, but hey, I appreciate you guys. Also, don't forget that recap is brought to you by SeatGeek and Underdog Fantasy. Use code Fuzzy. All right, thanks for letting me pay the bills. Let's talk baseball. You know what? I'm making an executive decision to start with this Mariners and A's game because this game kind of had it all. The nasty Bryan Woo, who's always owned the A's, he was going against the A's, but these are not the same A's that we're used to. These guys rake. Miguel Andujar drove in Jacob Wilson, who's, by the way, the brand new leadoff hitter. It's the first time that Lawrence Butler isn't leading off against a righty in a long time. JJ Bleday, he peppered a fastball to the wall for 2 more runs. It's a 3-run first off their mortal enemy, Lawrence. There it goes. His 6th home run. I mean, this kid is actually ridiculous. This next kid, I'm so happy I put you guys on him before the season because I got hundreds of comments saying that they had no idea who Jacob Wilson was until I called him the greatest minor league hitter of all time. And I guess I saved fantasy teams across America. You're welcome. He had 4 base hits in this one. He's batting .357 with 51 base hits in 36 games. Here comes Seattle, though, quietly. Ben Williamson, he got Seattle on the board with an RBI double of his own. And I got to say, it went from quiet to things are about to get rowdy. Rowdy Tellez, a perfect 3-run home run. It's still a 5-4 ball game, and there's Jacob Wilson with his 4th base hit, his first career 4-hit day. Back to the Mariners, though. Leody, he just got dropped by the Rangers. The Mariners picked up that almost $5 million contract. Welcome to Seattle. It's tied at 5-5, and now Leody is scoring for the go-ahead run. Dylan Moore doubled him in, and Senior Smoke, you are not hitting this guy. He had 2 more strikeouts. He has 13 saves. Andres Munoz has a 0 ERA with 25 strikeouts in 18 games. The Mariners take 2 in a row versus the A's. This is going to be a fun season series. There's 6 more games left between these 2 teams for the rest of 2025. So before we talk about the Angels ruining a guy's career, I got to talk about Javy Baez literally saving his own career. There's Javy, but he's not catching this one. Ryan McMahon, he cracked a 440-foot 2-run bomb, and the Rockies actually went up 3 on a Brenton Doyle trampoline base hit, but it's all good. 2025 Javy is putting baseballs in play for once. This squeaked up the middle for a 2-run single. His first of, actually, I don't want to spoil his RBI total just yet. Glaber, he ties it with a sac fly, but yeah, Michael Tolia, he put down the Uno reverse card and snatched that lead right back. A 415-foot 2-run home run off the foul pole. Here's Javy again. The bases are loaded. Javy just has to live there. Stay up the middle and away. That is when Javy Baez is at his best. He has 4 RBIs in the first 4 innings, and get this, he has 3 consecutive multi-hit games, but also listen to this. He's batting .425 with 7 extra base hits and 14 RBIs. He's destroying fastball, something that he hasn't done in years. Colt Keith, he makes it 6-5 while I was fanboying over Javy Baez, and it's tied again. Jordan Beck, he lined a Jackson Job slider. Both Job and Dolander, they got absolutely rocked. So we're going to fast forward to the 10th. Torkelson, he barreled up an RBI gapper. The Tigers take the lead, and then they got another run on what should have been the 3rd out. Beck just kind of booted it. Will Vest, he went 2 innings, so he doesn't get a save. He gets the W. The Tigers are 23-12. Trent Grisham is pulling a Javy Baez and climbing out of the depths of the "your career might be over and you suck and should retire" conversations. Oh my God, Jackson Merrill with the record scratcher. He stopped everything with one of the most impressive lefty-lefty home runs of the year, 420 feet. I think that's one of the first times ever a lefty has gone yard off of Max Fried's sweeper. That's how good that sweeper is against lefties. By the way, that's back-to-back 2-hit games. Jackson's hitting 412 games this year. Oh no, flashbacks to the World Series. Aaron Judge just dropped a ball. Martin Maldonado, he's in a second, but lucky for Judge, Fried gave him a second chance, and he does catch this one. Judge, this was not his night at all. Dylan Cease struck him out 3 times, so you drop a ball, you strike out 3 times, that'll drop your wins above replacement for sure. Now, staying with Cease, he had a no-no through 6, now it's 6 1/3, even though Xander took 8 years. Goldie was running, he gets the play done. Oh, Bellinger, there it goes. There goes the no-no. There goes the shutout. Bellinger has 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a near 380 on base his last 8 games. Cease had to leave with forearm tightness, and that sucks because he was really good. Fried was just as good. 8 strikeouts, just the 1 earned run, no walks. But what is Ian Hamilton doing? He's walking everyone. Weaver has to put out another fire, and he couldn't do it again. Jackson's second hit is a go-ahead RBI. Bogey, he makes it 3-1 after he lifted a sac fly. But the former Padre, call him Trent Griffey Jr., tagged his old team. He went to the second deck, and then, what is that? A double McTwisty 3000 double backflip for his 10th home run. He bat flipped to himself and then bat flipped again. Devin Williams, he's showing a lot of passion. He strikes out Xander to get out of an 8th inning jam, and that sets up a walk-off chance in the 10th inning. What? It's been a long last few days, okay? JC Escara, there we go. He walks it off with a sac fly to Jason Hayward. The Yankees, they take 2 in a row versus the Padres. Now, I cannot move on until we show Max Fried's 8 strikeouts. He has a 1.05 ERA. That's as elite as it gets. He's 6-0. I mean, if this was 2001, he'd basically be guaranteed to win the Cy Young because back in 2001, they only cared about wins and stuff like that. But Fried, he is their new ace. Even when Garrett Cole comes back, Fried, he's their guy. One more game, super quick, before we talk about the Angels ruining their 10th overall pick from a few years ago. Come on, it's Juan Soto. It's a perfect time to talk about him because he hit one that almost touched the roof in Arizona and it still somehow left. I thought it was a can of corn pop-up. He has unreal all-time raw power. I'm not talking about weight room power, but God-given man strength. Kodai Senga worked around 4 walks to strike out 5. He skates around for 6 scoreless, just 2 base hits. Merrill Kelly, he wanted 7, but Luis Angel and Jeff McNeil, they knocked him out the game. Luis had an RBI single. He then stole his 9th bag, and Jeff placed it perfectly. The only thing is, Jeff tweaked something. He's struggling to get to 3rd. He's taken out, so now we're in the 9th, and see, it's just straight up manpower. Juan Soto muscled one out. He's batting .315 with 4 home runs and a near .430 on base his last 13 games. Corbin, these guys are not Stanton big, they're not workout warriors, but Corbin Carroll and Juan Soto, they were just born with the perfect swing path and just honestly Hall of Fame talent. Corbin's up to 11 home runs and a 170 OPS plus. That was the only run that the Mets allowed. Lindor even added a few more on a second double of the night. He has RBIs 23 and 24, so Lindor and Alonso are both raking. Soto is now cooking. They still have the best team ERA in baseball. You know what? Hell yeah. I hope they go on a run for Steve Cohen. I love that guy. He's an awesome owner. All right, what in the world is happening to Reid Detmers, the former 10th overall pick who threw a no-hitter, and okay, we'll show that later, because former Jay Yusei Kikuchi was actually really good to start this game. Vladdy, he ran around for a double after going down the line, and Anthony Santander ruined Yusei's shutout chance. Barrios was awesome as well. 9 strikeouts over 6, but he did allow a few runs, including this solo blast to Moncada. I want a Moncada bounce back so bad. The barrel percentages are insane. The exit velocities look sick. He's not chasing like always, and he's taking his walks. Holy former Cleveland baseball players. We have 3 up right now. Ernie's on 3rd. Andres Menez is at 1st. Straz at the dish. All were on Cleveland just 4 years ago. All 3 of them reached versus Reid Detmers. He's out after, again, not getting any outs. Zephyr Hahn, I think that's how you say it. He couldn't bail out Reid. He loads them up. And Bo, he plated a pair of RBIs. And just like that, Reid is credited with 3 more earned runs. The Halos are now losing. Barrios is out there. This ball's out there too, way out there. Kyron Paris, his first home run in 13 years. That's his 6th of the season. Jeff Hoffman, now I guess it's his turn to implode. The Jays called a meeting on the mound with the bases loaded. Taylor Ward stepped in and he watched an 0-2 fastball sail right past him. Solaire's up now, and he kept it fair. Jonathan Clase then misread the bounce out there and left, so all 3 score. That is a walk-off base-clearing double, so the Halos take it 5-4. But I do got to talk about Reid Detmers because after allowing those 3 earned runs with no outs, he's now allowed 12 earned runs. His last 3 appearances, he's only gotten 1 out, so 12 earned runs over literally 1/3 of an inning. Since his rookie year where he put up a 3.7 ERA, he tossed a no-hitter. He has a 5.6 ERA. He's got a ton of strikeouts, but like, what's the point if he's allowing more hits, walks, and home runs? Opposing hitters have a 333 batting average versus fastball, a 421 batting average versus bread and butter slider. Halos fans are saying that their team actually broke him and that they want him traded because he's about to be 26 years old, and they just want to have Reid have a chance at being a decent big league pitcher. Me personally, there's no chance in the world that Reid should be in the bullpen over a guy like 35-year-old dinosaur Kyle Hendricks. This is baseball malpractice. Then again, this is the same team that only took pitchers in the 2021 draft and literally missed on all of them. Like, their only chance is Sam Bachman. He's their only saving grace. But yes, I agree. Ship out Reid, send him to the Yankees or the Mets or the Rays, and they can fix him. Just Get him off this team. To the NL Angels we go, the Pirates. We actually have some breaking news about the Pirates. Nothing is ever going to change for these franchises until Bob Nutting and Artie Moreno get out of baseball and sell. But yeah, the sun was out, but it was also kind of gray. I guess you could say it was Sonny Gray. Sonny punched out O'Neal Cruz a couple of times. He was masterful all afternoon. Lars, the hit and run. This was beautiful. Victor Scott, he is the difference maker that the Cardinals have been searching for. He's hitting .290 with 11 stolen bases and playing platinum defense. Yeah, they'll take that from a 9-hitter. Masyn Winn, man, this was an MLB The Show special. An RBI bloop double. It works. He roped another RBI double later in the 5th. Victor Scott got on his horse and scored from first again. He's just as fast as LEPCA Bobby Witt Jr., just kind of putting his speed into proper context. Sonny, he used that as fuel to go 7 shutout with 3 base runners with 8 strikeouts. He's 35 years old. Does he have a chance at 2,500 strikeouts? He's at 1,700 right now, but he's been really, really good. Jordan Walker, he finally did something. A 2-run single. He's fired up, and rightfully so, because he's a super prospect who's been an absolute bust, but who knows, maybe that swing right there makes it all click. The Cardinals are 19-19. The Pirates season is all but over. No, it is over, actually. They're 12-26. I really feel bad for their stars, and now I guess they're just putting all the blame on Derek Shelton, the manager. I don't think that Derek Shelton is AJ Hinch or anything like that, but he's not the worst manager ever. It's the talent. Like, what is he supposed to do with this roster? He just got canned. He got fired. We have a crazy replay situation in this Rangers versus Red Sox game. I'm still kind of confused by it, but first, El Bombi is back. Adolis, he swatted out his 5th home run. It became 2-0 after a Seager RBI ground out, so we have some El Bombi bombs, and now we have Breggy bombs. That's Alex Bregman's 200th for his career. He has 9 home runs with a .330 batting average this season. Wilyer, I think he beat both of those home runs by 20 or 30 feet. He's up to 8. He had a monster game. Here's his 2nd RBI extra base hit scoring Bregman. Campbell, he's out at home though. He was actually safe, but the Red Sox couldn't replay it because they were out of challenges. Again, we'll talk about that after we recap this game. The Red Sox, they're now winning. Bregman, he's in the 30 RBI club. He and Pete Alonso are both in there, and they're both technically on 1-year deals because they have opt-outs. They're going to opt out for a much longer deal. Yes, they're going to have lower AAV, but it's going to be for 6 or 7 years, not 2 or 3. Whoa. Wilyer, he joins Alex with 3 base hits and 3 RBIs. Wilyer's 2nd of the game is his 9th home run. This dude rakes. Josh Young, he rakes as well. Hey now, 98 at his nips, and he goes over the monster. And wait, did that say 104? That would have been such a sick way to end it. It was a foul tip. He ends it with a 95 slider changeup thing. I don't know what Chapman throws. He throws so hard, even a 95 might be a changeup. The Red Sox are 19-19. The Rangers are 18-19. But earlier in that game, Wyatt Langford, he tapped out to Tanner Houck. Things got weird fast because Wyatt completely missed first base. Romy had the ball and then stepped on first. But here's the thing, and I could be wrong about this, but this is how the rule is interpreted. If the first baseman does not declare out loud to the umpire that the runner missed first base, technically the runner is assumed to be safe. That's what the rule states. So even though Wyatt missed first base because Romy didn't tell the umpire, hey, he missed first base, it's assumed that he touched first base. Huh? That's an insane rule, and replay confirmed it, but yeah, go figure. All right, we're going to get some blowouts out the way before we talk about back-to-back pretty close ball games. Valiente Beozo and Agustin Ramirez, they teamed up to get Ohtani for a rare caught stealing. Beozo was sick, by the way. 7 strikeouts over 5 1/3 shutout against the Dodgers. Hello, Cade Gibson. LA went crazy as soon as this kid came in. Ohtani, he legged out a triple. He has a league best 4 triples on the year. Freddie, he drives in the unicorn, so that means that Landon Knack is actually going to get the W. Landon, he went 5 scoreless with 5 strikeouts. He's such a weird pitcher, just like Gavin Williams. He doesn't have the Gavin Williams stuff, but Landon sucks, then he's really good. Sucks, then he sucks again, then he's really good. It's weird. Haesung Kim, that's another RBI base hit. He scores James Outman. Wait for James Outman. He went crazy as well. Mookie, he had an RBI base, so did Walk. Frederick, he matched Ohtani with a 3-bagger, but of course his was a base-clearing 3-bagger. He could retire yesterday and make the Hall of Fame. He's batting .362, which means that his career batting average is back over 300. He has over 2,300 base hits now. He has a 143 career OPS plus, a Gold Glove, an MVP. He's a 2-time World Series winner. He's making the Hall of Fame in his sleep. Andy Pages, his single makes it 7-1, so that means that this makes it double digits. James Outman, I haven't said this in a while, James Outman hit one out. Man, LA, they win easy. They're the first team in baseball to 25 wins. Even with a slow start to the season, I really think that the Phillies are going to win 95 games easily. They've been insane lately. Harper, he took a walk, and Schwarber, he got on again. That's 42 games in a row being on base. Nothing came of those few first base runners, so I'm going to skip to this Trey Turner home run. Trey's second Tater of the year was absolutely smoked. No one's out on this next play. Johan Rojas hit an RBI sac bunt, and guess who's up now? We're going to go for a record. My friend, that has to have been a record. He and Trey Turner both found some holes. Harper, bang, a 2-RBI single. The baseball gods have not been nice to the two-timer. He's been getting really unlucky this year. He's finally getting rewarded over his last few games. Christopher Sanchez, he carved one base hit over 6 scoreless. He had 5 strikeouts. The Philly rotation is actually insane. Johan Rojas is kind of like a Victor Scott for the Phillies. Him getting hot changes the lineup so much. He has a single. He steals his 5th bag of the year. And add a kid, Bryson. The Phillies have scored 7 or more 7 times their last 10. Bryson has 17 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, and 3 outs above average. My friend can play some baseball. Taijuan, whoa, 7 strikeouts over 3 innings, just 1 base hit. That's his first career save. So the Phillies throw a combined 2-hitter, and again, that's the first ever save for Taijuan. The Phillies are 21-15. Ranger Suarez just came back. I mean, the Phillies, they're an absolute juggernaut. Houston blew the doors off the Brewers in this one. That is a perfect hit and run for their first of the day. Jake Myers can fly. He scores all the way from first after DeZenzo hit one in no man's land. Look at Jake turning on the Jets again. He's an actual stud. 4 outs above average. He's the rare hits right but throws left player. DeZenzo, he needed all of his 6'5", 6'6" frame to sneak his hand in for the second run. The call was overturned. Oh boy, Eric Haas, he lost it. In scores Brendan Rodgers. At least Eric Haas is polite and he got that run back on a home run, but that was it for the Brew Crew. JP3 with a 3-run jack. Jeremy Pena has 5 home runs, a 120 OPS plus, a lot of steals, and Gold Glove defense as always. Framber Valdez was lights out, 7 punchies across 7 innings. Just that 1 run to Eric Haas. His ERA is back under 4. Isaac Paredes with the inside-out RBI, and Yiner, he basically went to the same spot as Zach DeZenzo, so it's 9-1 on the 2-run double. Hader, he's out for the first time in, I think, a week. He had a bases-loaded scare, but no damage. The Astros and the Brewers are both 500 this season. When you have TJ Friedl hitting 2 home runs in 1 game and Hunter Green on the bump, yeah, you're basically never going to beat the Reds. That's a hundo past Olsen. The best slider in baseball gets Ozzie Albies to chase, and 101 past Harris. Hunter Green just struck out the side in the second. Staying with the second, but not the second inning. TJ with his second of the game. Back to the bullpen he goes. Now we have 2 more strikeouts for Hunter Green. He had 6 strikeouts over 3 scoreless. Tyler Stevenson, he got a big 4th run across, and it's big because Green, he felt something kind of pull in his groin. He was pulled for precautionary reasons. I think that he's going to be okay, but he didn't even go 4 innings. Brent Suter, he gave up a solo home run to Drake Baldwin. The rookie has 3 home runs and a 122 OPS plus. Oh no. Scott Barlow, he gave up an RBI single to Matt Olson. Albies, he helped out. He chased a high fastball, but he did his job. It's an RBI sac fly. That's why I said Tyler Stevenson's RBI and 4th run was so big for the Reds. The Braves put out Eddie Rosario with 2 outs in the 9th, and he did what he's been doing the last few years. He got out. A negative 2.3 WAR with a 76 OPS plus for Eddie since 2022. Why did Snicker do that? The manager, quote, I thought Eddie could recreate some old magic. What are we talking about? This is not MLB The Show where we win based off vibes. The Reds, they're 19-19. The Braves, they're 17-19. 33 RBIs for a guy with a sub 310 on base? That's insane. Wilmer, I mean, he does have a sub 310, but he's hitting 430 with a 512 on base when runners are in scoring position. Robbie Raygun was back in action. He strikes out Seiya to strand a few in the 3rd. Ben Brown, he was nasty as well, but just too many mistake pitches. He had 9 strikeouts, but he gave up 3 after a Lamonte Jr. double. Then Koss had an RBI single. It's KOSS. It would have been 4 runs, but PCA has an MW2 intervention with Red Tiger camo attached to his body. He has 8 outs above average, and now he's about to get an early Christmas present. He skied a 2-out pop-up, but the ball was flying around like the Hurricane Wind cheat codes from the old MLB 2K games. That's an RBI double. That's why ERA kind of sucks. It doesn't tell that story. Elliot Ramos, by the way, yowza, he's been bad defensively. Negative 9 outs above average dating back to last year. Talking about Robbie Ray, he was awesome again. He had 5 strikeouts, I think, 6 innings, only 1 earned run. He's got a 2.8 ERA. Ryan Walker, he had a sick pick from Matt Chapman to end it. The Giants, they take 2 straight in Wrigley. They're 24-14. and they're still 1.5 games back of the Dodgers for first place. 3 straight AL Central wins coming at you guys. The Orioles, they cannot find any momentum, and even with a lead from Ramon Laureano, they give it right back because the 91-year-old Brontosaurus, extinct dinosaur Charlie Morton gave up a single, a walk, and then the most hanging curveball I think I've ever seen, and he threw it to Byron Buxton of all people. 3 straight games of the home run for Buxton. He has 8 RBIs his last 72 hours, 9 home runs and 7 stolen bases on the season. Harrison Bader, what a resurgence. A 410-foot 2-run missile gives him 4 home runs and a 131 OPS plus across 94 at-bats. Duran, he threw 101, then 100 for back-to-back strikeouts, and 3 in a row. The Twins, they're 17-20 after winning 4 in a row. The Orioles have lost 4 in a row. They're 13-22 with a team ERA of like 5.5. Minnesota's 5 wins in a row are second best to the frickin' Royals. Bobby Witt Jr., he's automatic. He's going to average 7 to 8 to 9 WAR for a decade, right? He's batting .310 with 5 home runs, 11 stolen bases, 6 outs above average. He's on pace for a 9.2 FWAR after having a 9.4 FWAR last year. Michael Wacha, he made the White Sox look like, well, the White Sox. His ERA is back under 3 after 7 scoreless. Lucas Erceg, this might be a crazy take. He had 3 strikeouts in a dominant 8th inning, and then Estevez gave up a run in the 9th. Again, call me crazy. I know Estevez is good, but Erceg is way better than him. That Luis RBI single all but ends it. Carlos now has 12 saves. The Royals, they've won 5 in a row. They are soaring at 22-16. I know I'm supposed to be happy, and don't get me wrong, I am, but I'm also a big Mike Soroka fan. I want him to bounce back. I was hoping that the offense came after he left the game. I know it's weird saying that, but the Nationals bullpen stinks, so I knew that we were going to score regardless. Carlos Santana, he wants to be the May Player of the Month. That's 9 RBIs in 6 games. Angel Martinez, he's legit. He brought home 2 more runs. He's batting .313 in 24 games. But you see what I'm saying? This was all off the Washington bullpen. This one's off another reliever. He didn't even have to do anything. Rocchio, he then grounded out for a 7th run. And J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, completes the 8-run 6th inning that all but wait, the Nationals, no, are they rallying again? CJ and Ahmed combined for 3 RBIs. Ahmed was off of Cade Smith. Thankfully, Clase did nail down his 8th save. The Guardians have won 2 in a row. They're 22-15. Every AL Central team but the White Sox are on a win streak. And by the way, that's 3 consecutive games the Guardians have scored 8 or more. Another recap in the books. Thank you guys so much for motivating me. I've only missed 2 recaps this entire year. We've had 1 day off in over a month, so I'm doing it for you guys. We're growing the game of baseball together. That does it. Enjoy the web gems.
Third once more, another tremendous stop. Long throw! Line to right, and Fernando into the slide to make the catch. 3-1. Hit hard court short on the backhand. Henderson retreating. Low throw on a bounce. Mount Castle. Another shattered pass. Vargas has to get out of the way of the barrel, and somehow this one floated to left field. Shallow coming in. Bader, and he'll slide and make